For more on the NBA All-Star Weekend, kasama natin ang basketball blogger na si Adrian D. Adrian, welcome back to the show.
Great to be back.
Very interesting, very historic weekend, yung All-Star Weekend in Toronto, Canada. Let me start off with a Rising Stars Challenge. Sino para sa'yo, Adrian, yung promising, very promising, and who's going to be almost a sure thing to be a superstar?
Siyempre, everyone was talking about Zach LaVine kasi siya yung nag-MVP. But I was also impressed with D'Angelo Russell because as alam natin now, the Lakers have sort of been keeping him under wraps. He's been having a hard time with his coach. So in this game, parang he was able to have like a breakout game to really show everyone na, hey, even though I was second pick, this is why they picked me, because of my skills. I also really like, of course, Kristaps Porzingis, who had 30 points for the Team World, who was also really impressive. The Knicks really are lucky that they got somebody like him at number 4.
Much has been said about the evolution of basketball this year and in the coming years. Nagulat ka ba, Adrian, sa pinakita ng mga big men sa Skills Challenge? Karl Anthony Towns put on a show.
Right. We've seen this a bit before, you know, mga players like Lamar Odom was somebody who could dribble the ball, hit three-pointers and pass. Pero ito talaga, it was really impressive to see parang these players na we've been talking about how big men are like a dying breed in the NBA na people are always going small, but it looks more like, as you said, na they're evolving, na they can now handle the ball also, they can now spread the floor. And next season, I'm sure when Ben Simmons, who's people pick as the number 1 guy in this year's draft, when he comes in and he plays against Towns in this game, that's going to be really exciting.
Ngayon, Adrian, with the emergence of the three-point shot as the premier weapon ngayon sa NBA, are you surprised that the level of three-point shooting dito, especially sa three-point shooting contest, meron bang tweaks, minor tweaks in the rules that really favored the three-point shooters?
For me, it's the new rule na, well, not really that new, but the more recent rule na you can choose where to put the all money ball rack. Because there's so much data right now for NBA players if they want to look at it. So I'm sure the shooters are looking at the numbers, kung saan ako pinaka-hot mag-shoot. So that probably takes into consideration for them to decide where to put that rack. And so if they put it in the right place and if they do in fact get hot, that can be such a big lift for them.
At yun na nga, ang ginawa ni Klay Thompson, ang bagong three-point champion. He put the money ball rack in the corner, which he said is his favorite spot. Now, I have a question, because after Klay Thompson won the three-point shootout, nakausap niya si Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan told him, go ahead and break the record. Ano ang reaction mo sa sinabi ni MJ kay Klay?
I think it's interesting kasi prior to that, when people interview a Bulls player from that team, that's it, oh, hindi nila kaya yun and all that. And you expect someone like Michael Jordan, diba? He's the guy who comes up with imaginary bulletin board material to motivate himself. Siguro, and we'll talk about this later, I guess, when he spoke glowingly about Kobe Bryant. Alam niya na at this point in time, his role is really to inspire the next generation. So if he can inspire the Golden State Warriors and Thompson siguro in particular to really take that next step and maybe go 73 wins, I mean, that'd be good for the NBA. It might not be good for, you know, his personal legacy, but for the league as a whole, it would be so much better if they're able to do that.
Ngayon, staying with Michael Jordan, alam natin yung rivalry nila ni Dominic Wilkins, one of the greatest dunk contests of all time. Do you think this dunk contest, which highlighted itong si Zach LaVine tsaka si Aaron Gordon, do you think it is also one for the ages? Better even than yung kay Jordan and Dominic?
I wouldn't say better, but precisely because it was Dominic and Jordan. You know, these were two superstars at the top of their game, are ascending the peak. LaVine and Gordon, we're not quite sure yet because they're both young players. They could be superstars, they could be role players or guys who just, you know, turn up the excitement as people off the bench. So in that regard lang, siguro, I would put it a notch below that.
Pero grabe yung athleticism na pinakita nitong dalawa.
Yung huling dunk ni Aaron Gordon, would you have given him a 50?
For me personally, I would have, because prior to that, he'd been doing dunks with the help of the Orlando Magic mascot. So I think for him, when he got to that dunk, he basically said na parang, I want to show people that I can do these things without the help of props or, you know, gimmicks. And I think for me, the intensity he showed, like how much strength he had when he dunked that ball, really showed what he could do. LaVine's dunk was pretty good also, but people are calling it, you know, like a dunk from the foul line. If you really look at it, his foot was one step in. So, you know, you could, if you look at it from that angle, you can sort of take points away from that and make Gordon the champion.
Okay, now heading into the highlight of All-Star Weekend, All-Star Game, One of the main highlights was this is the last All-Star game of Kobe Bryant. And Adrian, talk briefly about what Kobe Bryant means to this generation of the NBA, of the superstars of this generation.
He basically inspired all of them. Kung tingnan mo, Paul George was paying tribute to him, Kevin Durant, LeBron James had that really great moment na he was playing defense one-on-one against Kobe. You could really tell na a lot of these guys, they grew up watching Kobe Bryant. And so having the opportunity to like give him a great exit in his last All-Star game, I'm sure it was a great moment for everyone involved.
And of course, patuloy pa rin ang mga tribute ng mga dating players, mga teams para kay Kobe. Michael Jordan, he's been saying it numerous times. Very excited siya na makita kung ano ang susunod na gagawin ni Kobe sa kanyang buhay when he walks away from the game of basketball. Para sa'yo, Adrian, what do you see Kobe doing in the future? Do you see him working as an analyst? Do you see him becoming a family man or an owner just like MJ? What do you see Kobe doing when he's done with the NBA?
Well, financially, I think he has the capability to really like be an owner like MJ. Siguro it's just a matter of trying to find what team would be available or for sale. But I think it's more likely na he'll at least spend, maybe not full-time like Shaquille O'Neal or Charles Barkley in the booth, but I think he would be great on TV because he's very honest. He doesn't really care like if you think his opinion is super negative or not. He will tell you straight out what he thinks, and that makes for great TV in my opinion.
And then lastly, Adrian naman, talking about the future, second half of the NBA season, which teams do you think will make a run? Do you think Golden State will go for 73? What about sa Eastern Conference?
Oh, I think personally Golden State will try their best to try to get 73. Of course, the problem is once there's one injury siguro, I think everyone shuts it down and they say, okay, wait, teka lang, our real goal is a championship. But if they do manage to go healthy throughout the rest of the regular season, I'm sure they will try for that record. Sa East naman, I would look at the Boston Celtics because they're the most intriguing team right now. They're number 3 in the East, if I'm not mistaken. And they have the assets to make one trade before the trade deadline. And if they can get a superstar, I don't know, if DeMarcus Cousins is really disgruntled in Sacramento, if the Clippers decide na they don't want to keep Blake Griffin or whatever, they have the pieces to put together a trade and really change and shake up the Eastern Conference if that happens.
I'm so excited to talk about the second half of the season. 48-4 right now, GSW. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that soon right back here on The Score. Thank you very much, Adrian.
No problem.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.